at the moment, that's why. Yeah,
That's okay.
great.
We're gonna get it.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the quarterly committee meeting for Academy Road. It is 9:36 on Monday, September 22nd. My name is Alex Georgiadis. I'm the Service Area Director. Next to me is Delise, the Service Area Administrator. In the meeting today, we have Smithy and Terry Ann. And online, we have Jacob, General Manager, and Ray, our Finance Manager. And we'll get our meeting started.
And
Charles is online as well. Our liaison, Service Area Liaison. Good morning to everyone. So we do not have quorum, so this will be a discussion type of meeting.
Okay.
So no call to order. We previously sent out meeting minutes for review. They're also available online on the video on the website. And we'll get started with CDDD GoGov requests. What happens here is oftentimes residents submit their personal home requests on GoGov. So we've started a new routine where those will get transferred over into Syrinet for tracking.
Oh, that's great.
So anything home related should be directed directly into Syrinet. But if they are put into GoGov, we will be transferring them over to Syrinet for tracking. Anything still in the streets, sidewalk, trees, CDD, anything like that, you can still use GoGov, but just be aware if anything is submitted in GoGov for your home, it'll be transferred over into Syrinet for tracking.
Will that show up on our reports that we get? So
Yes.
Okay.
Moving on, action items. Anything on? Nothing. And then right into the discussion items. Financials, we have our monthly financial report ending on August 31st. And just a high level overview, cash in the account is $182,000, very healthy operating cash. And another notable item would be the landscape out of contract, still showing approximately $14,000 in open project work potential there.
Okay.
Any questions at all regarding that? Anything on budget? No.
Yeah, I do have a question on this. Is there, like, we get these budgets every year and, it tells us, hey, here's what we are, right? Here's the snap of where we are right now. Here's the end of the, as of whatever. Is there a way to forecast, like, do we have some system where it could be really easy where it says, hey, landscaping, you got 14 grand left or whatever it is, and we know you're already going to spend 12. So you're going to be under 2 grand or whatever, because to me, it's harder to read on here. I mean, unless it is for you, Terry Ann.
You mean as an annual projection?
Yeah.
The projection, I mean, the 14,000 is a projection, but the problem is we still have the remainder of the year.
Remainder of the year that we can go, oh, on average, you guys spend $2,000 a month. So we know that you got 4 months.
Projection.
You mean based on year to date?
Yeah, based on how much time we got left in the year, like.
And how much you've actually spent for the year?
Yeah, so if we've spent it, let's say our for round numbers, let's say we're using $10,000 a year for landscaping, and we know that we spend $500 a month, right? So as of this month, this is what, the 9th month, we've spent, $4,500, whatever it is. So we know we've got this much left that we think we're going to spend. And, you might end up having, 2,000 left over or 2,000 left under. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It'd be easier to see a snapshot like that so we could make quick financial decisions like, hey, you know what? Wow, we're going to be over in this one. We need to pare back or we got extra money.
Let's hold that till January. Right?
Yeah. Or we got extra money so we could, potentially start a new project before January and clean the books year in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can chime in. In short, we can do that verbally or penciled in on these meetings, but we can't change it on
Yeah, that'd be great.
How it's set in Syrinet.
That'd be great because like that financial report we get, or whatever that report we get is every month. Like really, the first 25 pages of that report are nothing but crap, and then there's only 2 or 3 pages of actually really juicy information. The rest of it.
Do something in my monthly report to you if you want, just some summary of
That would
that.
help.
That would probably be the best place.
Yeah, because all these arrows pointing this way and this way in that monthly report, I don't care anything about it.
Quick summary.
Yeah, I just need a one sheet.
Absolutely.
Does he get the same one that the board gets where we see like the monthly, because we see the year-to-date and the monthly deficit / surplus? Do they get something like that? Like a kind of an
Yeah.
executive summary?
The same
Yes,
one.
they do get the monthly and the year-to-date
They do.
surplus. or
Okay.
their
Okay.
fiscal, Yeah.
So we do get a surplus then, right? We do.
Yeah. Yeah, and your
Okay.
P&L, you're gonna see the surplus or the deficit for the month and year-to-date as well.
No way
Yeah.
to forecast out that surplus though. So like, if I'm saying, oh, the surplus in September is $6,000, I want to know like, well, is that really a surplus or am I actually budgeted to spend that 6,000?
So are
Exactly.
you referencing this document, the actual versus budget? Because this is
that's
sent
a-
out monthly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So the issue,
That's the
yes.
one.
So the
That's
one
not-
thing, and we always like talk about this is the projections. The projections are the roughest thing to use in this. And no, we can't make the projections. We don't go in and change, individual pencil in info in there. So that's why we saw when we were doing the budget building, there are some projections that are definitely skewed off. Or let's say you did a large amount of work in January and you used up almost all your budget. By the time we're looking at this halfway through the year, it's going to show you that you're projected to spend twice your annual amount because it just takes it. And at that point, 6 months in, it's just doubling the number of your current spend.
no.
yeah, but I don't think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's like a projection. Like, okay, you spent this year, you're going to spend that next year. I think what I'm saying is like, I want to know like on my normal budget, like let's say this and it says I've got $7,000 left in one of these accounts. Well, do I really have $7,000 left, or am I going to spend that at the end of the year based on what I normally spend yearly? Like, like if
I know what we're gonna spend.
if I've got a set number every month for landscaping, then I really don't have $7,000 yet left because that set number is going to be spent by the 12th month. Like, what I want to know is, are there any line items where I really do have money left that's not going to be spent by December?
Yeah, I'll show you on the sheet with the columns.
Mhm.
The middle column shows year to date.
Yeah.
And the variance number. So in this case, landscape out of contract is 5,800. So through today, we have 5,800 left on that line item. Next page, I think it is.
Next page. Okay.
Yep. So middle set column there, and then go down to landscape out of contract. For instance, you see a 5,800 number.
What's in
So
here?
year to date, 5,800, we're ahead 5,800. So we have excess 5,800 through today. I think that's the number you're looking for.
So I got left for the rest of the year.
Through today, we're ahead, or we haven't spent 5,800 through today projected.
Okay.
I think that's the information you're looking for.
But like right here, the service contract, let's say underneath there.
I would
says
say
zero,
you're
so
going to want to
rents.
use,
Yeah, no, it's still not
So-
the number, because we don't know if that 58 is already allocated for the next 4 months for anything, right?
Which one's it? The landscaping should be zero because we pay that monthly, so whatever.
So that one's monthly. So
Exactly,
the 58 is basically what I've got left
correct,
Mm,
and then outside of contract
outside of contract.
through end of August.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
No, the 5,800 is gonna be your variance of your year-to-date actuals versus your budget. So your budget up to August 31st was 16,000, and you have only spent year-to-date 10,000. So for the year, your budget was, if you go to the right, you have your budget for the year was 24,000, and out of that 24,000, you still have almost 14,000 remaining that you haven't spent for the year.
That's what
So
I was
that's
looking
what
at.
you-
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. So basically I got 14 grand left there.
Correct.
But like, go to the next one, Ray, where it says landscape service contract.
that's
That-
a contract. You never want to
yeah.
touch that. That's
See, it says I got
Exactly.
13 grand left there, but
That's already committed. Exactly.
really I don't, right? Because I mean, I'm gonna spend that.
Correct.
Correct.
Mhm.
That's why I
This is
think the
only your
variance is
variance.
zero,
Mhm.
Yeah, the variance is zero, but
because it's gonna be used up.
but see on the remaining, like if I'm going through and just looking for one place where I can see
Yeah.
remaining total for the rest of the year, I can't really because
The middle column, if you want a year to date and see where we're
Well,
tracking.
I think, but Smithy, I mean, the service contract's gonna be used, right? Unless for
Mhm.
some reason, I don't know, change
Exactly.
landscapers or something. So really, it's that 58 number.
Is the 14,000 is gonna be what's left on that line.
It's just knowing which
58
GLs.
Not allocated.
I think the main thing is knowing which of your general ledger lines that are contracted to come out and which ones are up to just discretionary spending, which your
Exactly, Jay.
landscape.
That's what I'm getting at.
So that's just
That's what I'm getting
gonna,
at. So Ray, do we have $5,800 left on the landscaping general, or do we have the 13,900
It's a
13.9.
through the
13.9.
rest?
The 13.9.
13,900, yeah, through December,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
But we have 58 that's not allocated that
No,
potentially we
the
could
so
use for,
the
Correct.
so the 58 is already included within the 13.9.
Mhm.
So the 58 is gonna be your variance that you
What
haven't
happened is
used
we
up
didn't
to
spend the
August
58
31st.
yet. They're allocated over the
Uh-huh.
year.
Correct. So the 58
Yeah,
is gonna be
so
what you
so like,
haven't
you know, we
spent
have
up to
some
August
big
31st.
projects. We have some big projects we're trying to do, so that's why I'm trying to go through these and say like, okay, here's 13,900, you know, what else have I got? But when I look over here and I see like 13,900, 13,100, really the 13,100 is zero, right? You know what I mean? Like,
It's
Mhm.
gonna be charged every month, you're gonna exhaust that number.
I'm gonna exhaust that money, right? So like, I'm looking for the lines where there's discretionary, there's funds that I can use for something else if I needed to.
So that's just gonna be this third section over the budget, and then anything that says remaining in the year on that, that's gonna show you. So even in your board, on the board packet for the dormer repair this year, or that is being presented to the board, that dormer repair is like 5,800. And in the board packet, we called out that there's $3,050 in roof repairs and $1,700 in general repairs that they could pull the funding from the 58 from. Anything outside of that would be pulled out of the excess operating.
Excess
So
operating, okay.
that's how we got those. So, but you know, we did exactly what you're asking is how do I know what money I still have that I can use this year?
Yes.
Is this budget remaining line?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for is excess operating. So I guess maybe if there was a way, and I mean, I guess we can do this ourselves. If I could go through and go like, oh, wow, excess operating, we got 20 grand. You know, we
The
could,
monthly, I'll include that. I'll do an overall operating number and then outside of landscaping number, just a quick summary.
that'd be perfect. Yeah, that way we can come for these, you know, things we're talking about, the pipes in the ground and all that stuff. We can come up with some decisions.
As far as work orders, we're just waiting for a quote. We had one quote for Jasmine at 581 campus on the side. We decided to go something maybe a little bit more cost effective.
Yes,
So we're looking at some low light alternatives there. Waiting for a quote on that.
perfect. George was gonna walk that with me, Terry, and you're welcome to walk that with me when he
Okay.
does. So one of the ideas was, okay, so right on the corner there, there's a section right by the gate where you go into the first house on the campus in Mulberry, and it's missing about the size of the state.
Well,
Yeah, we were talking about pulling some of that other out and putting some new in. I think George also needs to include in that quote, he did a good job of going through and replacing the jasmine that CDD damaged. So that's been done up and down the street. There's still a couple of places that need more jasmine that we had lost from irrigation. So we may want to adjust that quote and have him fix those areas as well. We should also look over at Mulberry. I don't know what their street looks like, but they didn't have CDD damage, but they've probably got some things we need to look at as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other work order type items to discuss? No. Next item on there we have is the drainage project we mentioned previously, putting out an RFP for that. That's still in works. The only issue I have there with getting alternative pricing is there is a lot of plant and landscape work involved with that. So only a component of that could be bidded out separately. So just keep that in mind. But
to not have the drain people worry about the plants, we'll have plant
correct.
people
We
worry
need
about
the
the plants.
landscaper to
Okay.
do the plant work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna have warranty issues and maintenance issues.
Yeah,
that
makes
sort of
sense.
thing.
Okay.
EJ that's on our committee, that's a builder, suggested maybe if Schedule 40 was too expensive, that we could go with the next PVC pipe down, which I believe is 355. I gotta go look at it again. Maybe it's 345, but the reason we wanted a hefty one was so that it won't break, right?
Maybe
So
blow
for
it
us
out
to do
and clean it.
service and cleaning, correct.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
existing corrugated performing maintenance is a problem. It'll tear up the pipe.
Exactly.
But need to weigh the cost, so, yeah.
Correct. Future service area projects on hold. Anything else pending on?
The alleys that Smitty had
Yeah.
mentioned.
Yes, the alleyways. That's definitely one that we talked about that for about 3 years now. And we want to do that for sure, but we were waiting on a couple of items. I believe we were waiting to see if that artificial grass got approved that was on Mulberry. And then also if that didn't, we were going to talk about maybe some kind of rocks or something that we could put in part of that area. But even between the, like, not only those little spots between the driveways, but there's a lot of landscaping that needs to be done on the
It
back.
just needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah, it's a mess back there.
Okay, we'll go through the landscaper on that. The stone will definitely be a good alternative to the sod because we're having sod challenges in all service areas with cars running all over, engine heat, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that would be part of the ARC process as well. We could do it as a service area wide ARC if everyone's in agreement.
That'd be fine.
And then it would be a standard application in all driveways. And then wherever we can still fill in some plant material, even I would recommend against sod and again, try the ryepe, mondo grass because sod seems to be very challenging.
So what, so maybe in the next month, we start meeting with George and figure out a plan? I
Absolutely.
know with ARC approval, will
It'll take a little while.
take a while, it'll be next year by the time.
No, it could be in parallel. If we're all on the same page, we could submit it and get it done.
And we'll have to see they're building that one garage apartment that's almost finished on campus. I heard there's 2 more on campus
Oh my
being
God.
built this year.
No.
So we definitely want to wait till those are done. Construction is
Living next door to that.
I'm sure. There's also a section that, the painters, when they came through, it's at that same house that turned in the peeling on the front.
Okay.
When the painters came through the back of there on that alleyway, you'll see it. One side has perfect jasmine and the other side has jasmine with a rut for a tire about this big. They got their lift stuck there when they came through before, and they came back and landscaped it sort of, but it never took.
It's an architectural feature now, it's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre now, but they're supposed to be, it's a chunk of jasmine, it's probably like this wide and this, where it's supposed to be in there that
It's not doing.
is not there anymore.
That's the corner section where the crosswalk. is.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it's like, I want to say it's 531 and 527, is that right? Somewhere, it's
That's
whatever
right,
that
yeah.
crosswalk is, right between 531 and the other one. In the back, once you get to the alleyway, you'll notice it right by the mailbox, it's like a huge swath of jasmine, and then there's like where you can see the tire track, and it was a massive lift that they had in there, it got stuck, and they had to get a tow truck to pull it out.
So I actually have a question about this garage apartment that's being built at 525, is it? They don't have access from the alley to their backyard. So power washing, painting, anything that we as an association, there's no way for vendors to get back there. Like they have it set up that there's a gate, but the gate's for their neighbor. Their garage takes up their entire backyard, so you have to go through the garage to get to their backyard.
Good. The garage is the entire width of the property.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 526 or somewhere in there, some.
Trying to do the math here. 29 is 29, 27, 25, 23.
So one of the things that happened on our street is 501 got approved by ARC for a garage apartment. It's not a garage apartment that matches any garage apartment on our street. It's a flat one instead of ours have like those little dormers. But after that one got approved, the same builder now is building the one next to her that got approved, and that design changed slightly as well. So like ARC is approving a non-approved garage apartment on our streets now. They should all have matched, but they're not now.
Yeah, so the one that's being built has a square back with 3 windows and everybody else has a dormer with 2 windows.
Yeah. So,
It's 563.
Oh, thank you. I'll make sure that.
but within that ARC approval, there may have been this approval for this backyard thing that we don't know. And like, so I think
Bizarre.
I think one of the issues with ARC is they're not following the pattern book anymore. And so in the original pattern book, it would have told them, oh, on this street, it has to look like this. Like they're approving a garage apartment for somebody's backyard at a house, right?
Right.
Not at a townhouse.
And it's a center town. It's not an end unit, so there is no way to get to their backyard.
Okay, we'll look into that.
It'll just be something we'll have to deal with whenever we have power washers or anything else.
I know we got a lot to go through, so we probably keep going.
No,
Oh, we're doing good?
Done with projects? Nothing else outstanding projects?
No, the one thing on projects I'd like to ask about is, I have the original, I don't know where it is now. See, here it is. This was our original pest control company called Apex Pest Control. I think now it's Florida Pest or someone of this, but we don't have a copy of what the actual termite warranty is anymore. And I've never seen them come out and spray for termites. Have you?
No.
And I've worked from home, so like, it just concerns me that none of us know like what we're insured for. Plus, we've never seen them spray, and we're paying for it every year.
With the termite contract, we're essentially paying for the bond, and the language allows for an exterior visual inspection at their professional opinion. That could be annually, but there's no additional chemicals or anything to that effect.
Oh, they don't spray it.
Specific.
And then what happens? What happens if, heaven forbid, one of the houses has termites?
Then we execute the bond and start.
And the bond is for every exterior? How's that work?
Only exterior?
Only exterior. So I mean, a termite would be eating through the wood studs. and
Typically a
everything.
house be bombed. Would the house be bombed? Or that wouldn't be covered?
We could look into that. We'll get-
Yeah, let us know, because I mean, it's stucco on the outside, so the termites wouldn't be there. They would be in the wood that's in the frame. So like, if it is it stud to wall or wall to, I mean, or a stud to this wall, like which one is it? Is stud to exterior wall or stud to interior wall?
If an issue arises or is detected, what's the next step?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because I think that'd be good to know.
Who's responsible, yeah.
Yeah, because the only time it all came into effect, and this is a history lesson for all of us here, is so there's only been 2 times in Academy Row and Meeting House Greens Association that there's been a special assessment. One was for the original stucco on the building had terrible cracks and was leaking like a sieve into the wall. So they did a special assessment and they came in and they fixed all the stucco on everybody's building, and then they did elastomeric paint. And that was about 2000, I want to say 2007, 2005, 2007, somewhere around there. The other time they did the special assessment was originally between the homes, there were wooden fences got termites in them. And so they crumbled. And the original group was going to replace everything with wooden fences again. And all of the owners said, well, hold on. Everybody else in town has got vinyl fences. Why don't we do a special assessment for vinyl fences? Because we don't want termites back.
Yeah.
And that's when this all kind of came up with the termite bonds and everything else. So they did the vinyl fences back then too, and that took care of it. But, I just want to make sure we don't get termites again, or what our language is, because that could affect, I mean, is it even worth the bond if it only covers stud out,
Right.
right? Because, I mean, there's not going to be a termite there. No, it's going to be stud in. So
that's something we could look into when the contract is coming up on expiring. If you want to
Okay,
get quotes and increase the scope of included work.
yeah, let's get an understanding of what we got.
yeah, we just need an understanding of it.
I mean, obviously, it's gonna be more
Pressure
expensive.
washing.
I mean, that's a summary of it, but we could definitely present the option at the next round and take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth talking about, because if it's stud out, I mean, it's worthless to us, really. I think, don't you?
Sounds like it, yeah.
We have clarification on what's included now in course of action if something is detected.
Okay, sounds good.
Pressure washing on your list.
Oh, yeah. Pressure wash. So the Lees will remember this, but a couple of years ago, we had the pressure washer, and it was like some big number. And then I went and personally called a bunch of them and got a different number. And then I got called unethical for doing that. But besides the fact that I went and got a better price for us, the new exterior pressure washing has gone up a lot for the whole building. So I'm wondering if we can start putting this out for bid to other people and say, hey, we want the exterior pressure wash, or is there a hybrid? Because like for our building, for instance, right? Like, some of the windowsills, some of the pergolas, all of that, where they come flat on the building are getting green, but the building itself looks freaking great. And our flats are getting green. So like, maybe there's some kind of spray the whole building, you know, or something like that. Is there an in-between workaround of some kind?
First, regarding the current pricing, the project did go out for bid, and they're one of the cheapest prices, but it was significantly higher. So we went through that exercise. Regarding your request of a hybrid or partial cleaning, we could look into that next year.
Okay.
Again, we just have to keep in the back of our minds, the responsibility of the balance of the work will fall on the owner, so we want to make sure everyone's on board with that.
We should talk about that too. I've got, on
Balance of the,
responsibility.
yeah, balance of the work. So you're suggesting then that if somebody's side of their house starts to turn green because we chose not to do the entire building, they would have to pay to power wash it.
But that's not in the charter. That's the one thing we also need to fix townwide is I have two of these documents. One is the owner responsibility chart from you guys. The other is the owner responsibility chart from CMCC. They're both different slightly. And both of them are wrong in sections. So one of the things that's interesting is both of them list when these things should be done annually, semi-annually, all that thing. But if you read the charter, it says these things should be done based on a community-wide standard. So if we're not mandating that a homeowner in a home on the estates or wherever else is having to pressure wash their home every year, then we also don't have to do that because it's based on a community-wide standard, not on a standard for the service areas or on a exact schedule. So there's a lot of things like that we need to go through and look at. I'm happy to go through this list with you guys at some point. We do a separate meeting and we can go through each one and just because even some of the areas of responsibility are skewed where the charter talks about things in our back courtyard that are the responsibility of us, which is true. But the responsibility chart interpreted that as the back courtyard and the front of the house. So there's different things like that we can all go through together, but that's another meeting altogether. What else is on our list?
Alleyways, we already talked about. That was it.
That was it. Oh, okay. Awesome. So, I wanted to show this to you as well. This is from 2000. This is actually on the dormers, one of them being my dormer. I don't have the one from 2018 or 2020 that was done for the houses down by Carrie Ann Street, but that's something from ours where they went in and they had to repair the whole thing. It's got a kind of on the back, it shows you like what they did for repairing this before, but that's been 21 years ago. There might be a better way to do it now.
Okay.
But that was just to kind of show you that they precedent has been set there where they've done them before for our street.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
Another question I had was when the roof comes up, when the roofing comes back up to be redone, which I think is 2030. It may be, if our roofs are still in good shape, it may be worth having an engineer come out, look at the roofs and say, hey, you can get another 5 years out of these or whatever, so that we could keep the money in our CDs making interest. Because at that time, we're going to have $1 million, I'd say probably $1.4 million, $1.5 million in the reserves, which would, if we could keep it another 5 years, would give us a good chunk of money towards the roofing for the next time after. You see what I'm saying? Like, depending on, but I mean, it may be that we get 2 years out of it or none at all. But it's something that we should consider at least moving forward is, hey, you know what? We know we're at 15 years here. We want to look at these and just see what they're saying because, if possible. And then do we also want to look at another type of roofing system at all? Or something else that's different that might be a longer lifespan for us,
So probably 1 year out.
Hey,
we'll start
Smithy,
at that.
Real
Go ahead.
quick, I support that position, by the way. I think we had some conversation around Island Village. And as an example, their reserve study calls for painting, I think, in year 5. Now, some of their paint selections were a little bit off, I think, from the builder. So they may need to actually do some painting. But I think as we start digging into some of the reserves, I will fully support the position, if there are things that we need to look at further down the road, just because it's in necessarily, let's say 2026 or 2027, but if the roof obviously is in generally good shape, or there's something else you want to look at, that's certainly something that I think we should discuss ahead of time, because then, to your point, that gives more funding for some other things, landscaping, other reserve projects, what have you, or even leaving it to accumulate interest. So I wanted to just mention that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I think it's possible, right? If the inspector comes back and says, we need a new roof, let's get a new roof. But if the inspector comes back and says, hey, you know what? You got some lifespan left, then, I mean,
Instead of just doing things because it's on the schedule and.
exactly.
Agreed.
That's-
Yeah, I fully support that. Yep, agree, 100%.
Perfect.
Just only one impact we found there, just from experience, is with the age of the roof, and just the impact of homeowners and their insurance policies. Just keep that in the back of our heads.
Yeah.
when we
Okay.
discuss them.
That's a good point.
Definitely some rule.
But Smithy, what you're proposing, and Charles, what you're supporting is our current standing practice, as this is what we're doing in another service area currently. The roof is up for replacement, and it's with an engineer right now before
fantastic.
to give a recommendation to if we want to
Perfect.
prolong it.
Okay, good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's everything we had. Thanks.
I think that's it. Were you guys ever able to find this from Williamson's and Associates? It was like the exterior, there's a book that of course, this is again from 2005, but they created a book on all of the applications that they did to redo the stucco and the elastomeric painting and how things should be done and what type of material should be used. I give it to you to look at for a second.
It was also a safe line. A lot of the documents for service area are at town hall, lost in the storage closet, but we're not able to go through that building now since it's.
Oh.
Okay.
The project that we
Yeah.
lost.
Yes, I'll get you copies.
I haven't noted so that when we do,
Yeah.
if the actual book is there, but I didn't see anything.
Last thing I want to talk about, just the painting in general, because I saw the email back about the Natalie Hall's building and how it had been determined that was, the ladder had scratched the paint or whatever, and they were going to come, which is so nice of them to come and redo this, right? But, I also had the windows replaced on my house before we got the painting done. And there everything multiple times. It never scratched the paint off. I've had on the new paint in my backyard, the wind blow over my umbrella and scratch a section about this long off, which I myself.
I've had similar situations.
And I guess both our points here is, it shouldn't be so delicate from the paint.
You can't touch it.
That you can't touch it and it come off. I'm worried about the pressure washer because when I pressure washed the front of my house one day, paint came off, and which I'm going to repaint myself. So it does. It's.
Yeah, we very well might have a lot of peeling and bubbling paint after this pressure washing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth sending somebody ahead of time to take some pictures of the buildings just so we have it on record.
Yeah.
Before we pressure wash, because I mean, it is a concern.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the wrong type of paint was used or some kind of adherent wasn't used correctly, but it does just like randomly just peel off the walls.
Yeah,
And
and as Jacob knows, I mean, Benjamin Moore kept saying, oh, it hasn't cured, it hasn't cured. Well, we're after a year. It should have cured over a year ago at this point.
that spot I sent you guys on my building is like, it's on the back of the building on the third floor, like there's no window, nothing up there. I mean, there's a gutter up there, but I mean, no way to even get up there. It's like,
I know
35 feet in the air.
Jacob did reach out to Benjamin Moore regarding the warranty and the paint and what the issues are. They're brought to our attention, so we are reading some feedback from them.
Okay.
Oh,
But it is, we are working.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just my concern is we pressure wash and all of a sudden this thing.
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So it definitely is worth maybe take some pictures ahead of time. Something just in case.
And taking my pictures of my house, just.
Just in case. Okay, and this Friday, we're getting our street restriped. They're gonna come out with cones Thursday. I'm gonna start putting out cones. I don't
So
know,
you did the school, do we have something going out to homeowners?
I think is there email going out to homeowners or
We
something?
can set a blast to go out to the home.
That would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's
And-
what we
and
asked to happen.
If you guys want, I mean, if you'll print me enough pieces of paper, I'll go down the street and tape a piece of paper to everybody's door so they can see when they, that on Friday morning, they're gonna get they're gonna get restriped and to move their cars, please. I'm happy to do that. So I'm gonna help the guys put out cones on
Yeah, gosh,
Thursday.
It's this Friday.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, and now it's even too late. 'Cause for example, my neighbors have been out of town. And they didn't know
Well-
about this.
Yeah, well, we'll tow their car. It's no big deal. No,
No,
there's-
but again, we've requested that an email go out to the homeowners.
Yeah, I think so.
About a month ago, and nothing's gone out.
Be awesome if it could. Oh, do we want to go through this budget? Because we didn't talk about, we have a couple of things in here. The number went back up because, I don't know if we have next year's, but we have next year's budget.
It's not here.
It's not here. So Terry Ann, the number went back up. So there were a couple of things in there that went back up. One, they added, the tree thing got added back in. So basically, we trimmed the trees a couple years ago. CDD
Yep.
decided they weren't going to help, even though they're supposed to do it. It's their tree. Thank you, CDD, if you're listening. So the next time we have to trim them, now they've put an allowance in to get these trees trimmed, which is going directly to our reserves. Now, there's two sets of thought here. One is, I don't mind putting more money in the reserves because, it just is less for us to spend if we had to do special stuff, whatever. The other train of thought is, we've got a lot of older people that live on our street. And, this is gonna be, the new budget is about a $26 a month impact difference than our old budget. So when you look at it that way, I mean, depending on who the homeowner is, this could. So do we need the tree allowance, or could we use reserves we already have, which we're plenty, we're pretty fully funded in reserves. Plus, I think every year in our, don't we have a pretty big additional allowance for landscaping every year, like on top of our landscaping contract in our funds? Like this year we had,
And through today, we have 5,800 remaining through end of August.
remaining, but so our total, our year total though, for like landscaping general is usually 25 grand.
24,300.
So that's, I think that's the thought, like, if we had to bite the bullet one year, I think it was like 13 grand when we did it the first time. Could we just take 24.3, drop out 13, 14 grand of it, and then we only got 9 left for that year for other stuff, that's something we could do, I'm assuming, right, Jacob? See, he's releasing a drone somewhere. Are you in
Sorry,
Vegas? Is that what's going on?
no, I was getting another call as you were asking that question. It's in the proposed budget by the board now, that the
So-
budget's not
So you
finalized.
see what you guys dropped off. So right now we have 24.3 and here for additional landscaping, just
Mhm.
new plants, whatever we want. And what I was saying is, we've now got this tree reserve too. But in essence, really, we could just pull from that 24.3 if we needed to trim the trees one year.
We can,
So,
yeah, if that
Oh.
becomes a committee recommendation, we can propose that to the board before
and
they
then we
finalize the
could take
budget.
then we could take the trees back out. Because how much is the tree every month? Like, what's the impact on that per door?
About $4 $3 and change a door a month.
A month, okay, so you're really talking about $360. So what was the biggest, so we got that, we got the $6 on the other, so that's $9. So what's the other money that went up this year that we're not accounting for? Because I saw the numbers. Hold on.
Let up and see.
Okay. Okay, the pressure washing, that's the increase. If you want, we can move forward with what we got. And then we go back and when we go through this, service area charter responsibilities, and maybe then we could do something. What do you guys know?
We can revisit that, absolutely.
So okay,
Okay, yeah.
okay. I think that's all I got.
Very good.
I wanted to say thank you too. I've seen you walking through more and everything else, so thanks for being out there and looking at stuff.
Good, yeah, keep the feedback going. I mean, it's a two-way street here. Anything you provide to us, we use it, and
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries.
excellent.
And we get notes from, I know there's no quote unquote action items discussed, but there's a lot of items that we did talk about, notes, particularly for our two committee members that weren't here.
Good to do summary email for you,
Yeah, thank
absolutely.
you.
There's something I'm forgetting. I can't remember. Oh, last thing. Hey, Ray, this is for you. Is there a way to give us, like, I see the investments that we have in our CDs, right? But is there a way to add a summary that says like, hey, you know, maybe it's just at the end of every year, but at the end of every year, you go like, hey, you know what? Because of you guys' investments, you added however much money to your reserves. Just so
Well,
we could, you know, let all the homeowners.
Hello.
I can hear you, Ray.
Yeah, I think they froze.
I think so.
Yeah, they're on. Yeah, something wrong.
Thank
Give you like a year-end sort of.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic.
So,
That way
so,
we
so
know.
That would be
Yeah,
the
well-
yearly financials. Oh, there you go, Ray. Sorry.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say that in order for us to add money to the actual fund, we will need to either liquidate the investments, or whenever we're gonna be renewing an investment, you will only want to renew or reinvest the principal and take out the interest. That way we can say, hey, we're adding this.
Oh, yeah,
amount
I don't want to
of money.
liquidate anything. I just want you to give me like, hey, you know what? Everything's in CDs. And, you know, because you got it in CDs earning 3.85% per year, you know, you're averaging about, you know, 25 grand or 40 grand or whatever it is a year interest. We just want to know what the interest is so that we can tell people, but we don't want to liquidate anything.
Okay, good. So I can
You know,
give
like,
you an
look, we already-
estimate of whatever you have
yeah.
been able to accrue for the year, yeah. But I don't want you guys to think that that money is already in that
Thank you.
account until we liquidate the investments. That's the point that I want to make. If that makes sense. I can
Yeah,
tell
we
you
definitely don't want to
what,
liquidate anything.
okay.
And
Okay.
we're not looking to offset money in our budget on this. This is just kind of a, you know, congratulations, everybody that's worked hard. Here's where your money's working for you.
Okay.
Very good. This is outstanding. Good day.
All right.
Thank you.